Do you think that traveling became harder for Muslims, specifically after 9/11?
100%.
100%.
Definitely. It's you walk around with hijab as like a big beacon saying, I am part of this religion that is completely misrepresented to a lot of people, especially in the West. Hello.
When was the last time you traveled?
Last time I traveled was March 2020.
2020 January.
Love COVID. I think it was like 2 years ago now.
So August 2020.
In 2019.
May 2019.
In summer of 2018.
In December.
Do you think that traveling became harder for Muslims, specifically after 9/11?
Yeah, I mean, it was a movement that was started because of Muslim people, and so it was doubly harder on Muslim people.
But stuff has happened. We can't be blind to what has happened in the past that led us down this road to be perceived that way. So what we have to do is stand together and really bring forth this positive image that we need to get out there now. So whether if it's answering all the questions that need to be answered, then do it.
But don't you feel like you're paying for other people's mistakes that way?
Isn't that how humanity works? You're always paying for someone else's sins.
I think being visibly Muslim or being assumed to be Muslim just means that you get more hassle. You, of course, get those random searches. You have to take your shoes off. I had to do that the last time I flied, by the way.
Like, for some reason, me, my sister, and my mom are always placed on random check.
The most degrading experience in my life because nobody else in the line gets stopped except you, and maybe my socks are not matching today. Not fun. But yeah, I definitely think the experience has been drawn out and more difficult unnecessarily.
I understand where they come from is because they don't see what's under hijab, but you also don't see what's under my shirt, or you also don't see what's in my shoes, or etc. So I think there's that part of that, especially the random check part.
However, I believe, number one, in safety, and I don't get offended. And I think that's key. A lot of people get offended for having those questions asked and stuff.
They're not like mean or anything, or they're not rude, apart from the USA, but any other country, they're not rude, but you do still get that extra check from everyone else.
Is there anything scary or abnormal about traveling while hijabi?
The scariest part of traveling while hijabi is the looks you get from other people.
Every single time I'm traveling, I have to go through extra security for some reason. So that scares me.
And just even like little things, like when you go through airport security and they check your bags and say you like forgot you had hand cream or whatever that's like above the limit. Even those small things, they go down differently depending on who you are. And I watch, like I'll be in line and I'll watch how they interact with each different person, and it does vary. Yeah.
But I do know friends that were forced to take off their hijab in the middle of an airport, not even in a private room, to be checked because it's like part of their security thing. And it was a terrible experience for them.
5-10 years ago, when I was a hijabi, I was always told, make sure you're wearing something you're comfortable under your clothes, just in case they need to pat you down, or they might want you to take off your abaya or something.
So yes, there is sometimes an unusual discomfort that you feel as a hijabi traveling internationally. But again, as long as you carry yourself with dignity and respect and humility as well, like I see a lot of times Muslim women who just randomly do good things, like for others, something falls and she'll pick it up, like just the kindness. And it's not that you have to prove yourself, but that is our faith. Like I'm not saying that's what we have to do. We have to go out of our way to do something kind. It is actually part of our humanity and our faith in Islam to do goodness and to, help when we can.
Have you ever been stopped or questioned about your background or religion in an airport?
I have been stopped because of my hijab in Mexico. So this lady pulled me aside and we were going through security, and she said, I speak Spanish, so I said, ¿por qué? Why? Why do you want me to take off that? And she said, I need to see what's under there. I said, take me into a room. By all means, if it's just you and I can show you. I'm not going to do it in public. And then she's asking me why we need to see. I said, because it's my religion. What religion is it? She's asking me. So I told her I am Muslim. And we're having this whole conversation in Spanish. And she just kind of looked at me and knew I wasn't going to take it off. And she's looking at the line behind me. She sees all these people and she's like, okay, just go. So I'm happy I stood my ground.
Do you get weird or strange looks from people when they see you in the airport?
Yes, I think I get weird and strange looks everywhere I go. I don't know, I guess I'm not what people expect, but I get weird looks everywhere. So unfortunately, I've normalized it.
Yeah.
How do they make you feel?
They make me realize that I'm different. So as I said earlier, I don't really realize that I'm wearing a scarf on and how that makes me different from other people. But when I get those stares, or when people like point, or when I hear little kids like whispering to their moms and asking why I'm wearing that on my head, that's when I realize how different I must look from everyone else.
I get strange looks, I get strange comments, I get strange, move aside kind of thing. It happens. I think you just have to learn to manage it, because if you're going to spend the rest of your life worrying about what other people think of you, you're not going to enjoy your own life.
Yeah, you're always walking with some eyes on you, which is why you try and appear as non-threatening as possible.
It hurts. It really hurts when you're traveling and you're trying to enjoy your time, and whether it's passing through an airport, checking into a hotel, or just going to touristic sites, you always have a few people that just look at you a little bit harder than someone else would look at you.
Does the fact that you're a hijabi affect the way you perceive border security?
Oh, yes, definitely. I didn't tell you this, but I've worked for Air Canada for 14 years. So I've seen it all. Even working as a hijabi at the airport is another level of fun stories for people when they see me behind the gate boarding the plane, or when I'm going on the airplane with my walkie-talkie, or I'm receiving Tel Aviv flight with my walkie-talkie and I'm opening the door and that's the first thing they see. So I know that, can be a little traumatizing for some people, and it has been, and I've seen some people's reactions through my career working at Air Canada, but I'm blessed that, again, I work in Canada and I represent a country that, gives everybody the rights and freedoms.
I just kind of have to act like under the radar, I would say. I even go as far as telling my kids, don't say certain words. Don't, be careful. Speak English. It's like, sometimes they'll throw out an Arabic word and then I'm like, don't do it. It's kind of like ingrained in my brain to change the way I am, especially when it's someplace more sensitive.
Do you think border security officers look at you differently?
Yes, I do. And I think they're trained to look at me differently.
I think they're trained to look at me more differently. So I may not be a threat, but I personally feel the first thing they see me as is a threat, a potential threat. Not a threat, but a potential threat. Let's see what she has after asking all those questions.
Sometimes, yes. But I also know, other times the airport staff act extra nice and extra friendly, and I think they're just like trying to show you that there's nothing to worry about, that they're not suspicious of you or anything. So that's really cute.
Are those the majority though?
To be honest, in my case, I think that was the majority.
But it's always uncomfortable. Like, I dread going to the US. I have family there. I refuse to go unless I absolutely have to, because I don't want to have to go through that. I don't want to put myself in that position to be belittled by somebody based on my faith. And it bothers me. And that's sad, because I should be able to go visit my brother or my aunt in the US. But that feeling that I may be discriminated against based on my faith, based on my hijab, is one of the main reasons I don't go to the US, and I avoid it at all costs if I have to.
Yes, you have to be extra polite. I have to make sure my luggage is not over, which is very hard to do. I have to make sure that I'm on time. I have all my documents ready before they even ask. I go above and beyond. Yeah.
Have you ever felt that you need to act extra nice to prove to border security officers that you're innocent?
No, because I am innocent.
I always feel that I have to act extra nice just to get through.
Yeah, I'll like intensify my Canadian accent. I'll speak a lot louder. I'll speak clearer. I'll smile a lot for like no reason.
Sometimes, yeah. Smile more.
Even though you've done nothing wrong, there's always that little thing in your head going, be nice, be good, answer what they want.
But not to prove that I'm innocent. I think it's just because you're a good person, you will act nice.
Do you act nicer in airports?
No, I'll act nicer in airports because I'm happy that I'm traveling, but not because just to prove anything.
I haven't had that feeling. I've just been myself, and that's how we all should be, just ourselves, because we have nothing to prove to anyone, alhamdulillah. We're unapologetically Muslim.